I decided to install a screen door on the front of our home, and I chose the Larson Escape 100 single door as my door of choice. It was a reasonably inexpensive and seemingly easy to install unit. This is the main component. It's the cassette that allows the screen to advance and retract along the tracking. It comes with relatively few parts, some screws, and the instructions, which I suppose are clear enough. I think any problems with the installation are from my own shortcomings as far as reading plans go. And a lot of the terminology I had to keep referring back to boot body and so forth and pole arm. You put this cap over the top of your cassette, and this cap is going to slot into the top. This thing I still have to Google and find out what that is, but you install it along the edge of the cassette. Actually, you install it along the thing that you pull out, the pull arm, I think it's called. Now, you can either install the cassette on the interior of your door frame or on the exterior. And I, at first, chose exterior, but that didn't work out. There was some conflicts with my alarm, with my doorbell. So I chose the interior of the door frame, which it doesn't look very sturdy, but it clips in pretty good if you take your time with it. The scariest part was cutting the tracking, cutting the top and bottom rail. It's a $200 and some kit, and if you mess up the measuring and cutting, I don't know. I suppose you could try to return it, but I don't think they would take it. So you have to be sure that you're making the right cut. So read that part of the instruction carefully. I'm sure you will, and take your measurements carefully. As the old saying goes, measure twice, cut once. So aluminum, I think it's aluminum, is fairly easy to cut. Turns out, just with a regular hacksaw. So you slot the top and bottom rails into the cassette, the places where it goes for the cassette. There's like little tabs. It looks kind of flimsy. That's it's so far so good. It's working, but it looks a bit flimsy. And when you're putting it together, you'll notice that. My first attempt, the screen wouldn't retract. That was frustrating. So what you do is you take off the cassette and you unscrew the end cap, and the spring that retracts the screen is inside, and you give that a bunch of twists. I gave it about 10 twists, and then reset it into the track, and it worked well after that. And then you screw it down good. You make sure that everything's lined up nicely, and I didn't use the screws that came with the kit. I used decking screws and drilled holes, and then put the decking screws in. So it's solid. It's in well. The dogs don't like it. They're still getting used to it a few days later. But yeah. Oh, and there's one little piece that confounded me. I couldn't figure out what it was for, but this is just to separate the bristles in your track so you can see your screws. I guess we'll see how it holds up over time. It's working well so far, and it's letting a lot of fresh air into the house.